Thank you for listening to Everything's Messy podcast. We appreciate your interest in health and wellness. However, it is important to note that the content provided in this podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. The information shared here is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. The hosts and guests featured on Everything's Messy podcast are not licensed healthcare professionals, and the discussions within the episode should not be considered as personalized medical guidance. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of something you have heard on this podcast. If you have a medical emergency, call your doctor or 911 immediately. Reliance on any information provided by Everything's Messy podcast or its guests is solely at your own risk. This podcast may discuss general health topics, lifestyle choices, and wellness trends, but these discussions should not be interpreted as individualized medical recommendations. Every individual's health needs are unique, and what works for one person may not be suitable for another. We encourage you to consult with a healthcare professional before making any significant changes to your diet, exercise routine, or health practices. Everything's Messy podcast and its hosts are not responsible for any actions taken based on the information provided during the podcast. Remember, your health is a personal matter, and professional medical advice is essential for making informed decisions about your well-being. Thank you for listening to Everything's Messy podcast. Everything's Messy podcast brought to you by Dreamweaver Media. So, incredible company. I'm so excited that I've had the chance to work with this company. Let me tell you, if you are looking to level up your podcast, level up your business, anything that you need to get very clear and laser focused with your goals for your company, you need to reach out to Dreamweaver Media. They have a strategy session report that they will do for you. And what that will do is you will discover your dream audience persona, define your business's why, craft a brand identity that speaks directly to your target audience, identify your marketing goals, and create a custom plan and receive a detailed visual shoot plan that brings everything to life. Let me tell you, this company is amazing. So reach out to dreamweavermedia.co. That's dreamweavermedia.co. Check out their website for more information. Hey there, it's Sarah Wilson, and welcome to Everything's Messy podcast. Yep, you heard it right. Everything is messy because, well, it is. But here's the thing, in the mess, there's strength waiting to be found, and that's what we're all about here. My mission? To break the silence around chronic illness and build a community that's supportive, understanding, and downright empowering. So if you're ready to navigate the chaos, buck the conventional medical system, and embrace authentic healing, you're in the right place. We're going to tackle the big questions like how to balance it all, where the family fits into the messy equation, and everything in between. This is your messy space, a place where we're not afraid to get real, have those important conversations, and maybe even share a few laughs along the way. I'll be sitting down with incredible people, each with their unique message to explore their stories, experiences, and the lessons they've learned in the chaos. From unconventional healing methods to finding strength you never knew you had, we're covering it all. So grab a seat, get comfy, and let's dive into the messy. Because here at the Everything's Messy podcast, we're turning chaos into strength. Together, we're going to embrace the mess. Are you ready? Let's get messy. Hey, messy people. Welcome to Everything's Messy podcast. I am your very messy host, Sarah Wilson. I want to welcome you to the show today. It's just going to be a little short episode. I've got some sort of messy, exciting news to announce, and I'll do that in a little bit. First, I just want to recap. We've had some pretty amazing guests the last couple shows. We had Neil Fisher all the way from Australia. I loved his message, and while I know it was sort of geared a lot towards men, I do feel like it resonated with me as well, and I'm hoping that it resonated with other women as well. I think it is on point to the message of this show, and that's having the discipline, having a plan, getting after it, hammering down, doing the things that we need to do, even on the days that we don't feel like it, and just making those better choices. Sometimes we miss, but the point is we keep trying. And I really think his determination and passion really showed me that, he came from a messy place. He didn't have it all together at first, but he was able to get there. I often say I am still the black line in the middle part down the picture of the before and the after. I'm still on my journey. And it's going to be a while before I quote unquote arrive. And I'm okay with that. I am learning so much. I love talking to all of these guests. We had John Lawyer on. He was very unique to this show as far as some of the thematic things that we talked about. But I wanted to say this to him, and I didn't get a chance to say it until after we stopped recording. I may not have agreed with everything that he believed in and everything that brought him to his own beliefs. But what I really truly enjoyed about that episode is it was a back and forth conversation with zero hate, even though we may not have agreed with each other's, viewpoints of where we stand on faith. But we were able to still come together and have that conversation and sort of have a back and forth, learn from each other, exchange without there being such vitriol and hate just because somebody had a different opinion. And I think in today's world, that's so, so important. We seem to pounce or get angry or judge immediately when there might be somebody else out there with a difference of opinion. And it didn't used to be that way. It used to be you could have these conversations and you could live, it was okay to agree to disagree. You still would like the person. You still would have a relationship with that person. And it's okay that you both, could just come into the middle and leave the differences at the door. It doesn't mean that we get walked all over. It doesn't mean that we don't stand up for what we believe in, but it was done in a very respectful way. And I feel like him and I were able to have that exchange in a very respectful way. It showcased what he went through, his messy story, and where he had arrived and his beliefs. And while I maybe didn't agree with everything that he had talked about, it was really nice for me to not only learn where he was coming from and the differences of the things that he was taking from one place or another place and applying that to his life, and two, that it helped both of us, I think, and I don't want to speak on his behalf, but I'll say for me, I was able to see that old, and I'm dating myself here, I guess, but that old way that we used to handle things, right? We didn't just hate because you had a difference of opinion. We didn't attack just because you had a difference of opinion. And a lot of America is founded on debate and going back and forth and not completely agreeing. I mean, go back to when they were writing the Constitution. There was a lot of different debate. You had the Continental Congress that didn't change. I mean, there was a whole lot of different things going on, but it was healthy. You came to a solution or a compromise or whatever it might be, but there was no hate. And I really appreciated that conversation with him because it helped me to say, we can do this. And we should be doing this. We should be able to talk to people who we don't agree with completely, but we might learn something. And what it might even do, maybe you don't even learn something new, but maybe it reaffirms in your own path what you so strongly believe in. And that's okay too. We just don't have to attack and judge in order to get that accomplished. So I really appreciated him. I appreciated Neil and his perspective. Again, this show is all about the messy story and where that takes you. I want to be a part of it. I want to see where you're going, which road you're on, and how you're trying to, turn that into a positive message now. And the last two guests, no matter how messy it got for them, they have turned it into their own positive message. And that's all I want to see. And I want to see you guys do it too. Doesn't matter how messy the story. I know we can bring something out of it. And if only to be able to relate to somebody else who may think they're the only one going through whatever they're going through, but they hear something on this podcast and they see somebody come out on the other side of the mass and they can say, I can do this. I will get there. Maybe a long journey. It's going to, it's going to make them have to make some hard decisions, and it's not always going to be easy, and it's going to get hard, but they're going to get through it because they've been shown that they can get through it. And that is what I'm so passionate about. This community of messy people, I want us to be able to come together and do that for one another. And that's really important to me. So I hope you did enjoy the guests that I have. I've got a ton more coming up. I'm going to be showcasing all over the spectrum, if you will, of messy. And I'm still very passionate about chronic illness and healing naturally and bucking that medical conventional system, because I am here to tell you that it's not all correct and there are other ways to do. Again, I should say it wasn't correct for me, and I have learned other ways, but I want that to still be a pillar of this podcast. But I'm learning And I'm finding out there's so many people out there sitting with a mess, and they have taken that mess and become completely different from their mess, but their mess is what made them. And I want to showcase that. So we're going to have different topics. It's not all going to be about chronic illness. It's not all going to be about diet and exercise. I think those are very important. And I think no matter what kind of messy you are in, those have to become, daily and with you in your journey. But I like hearing the mess, no matter what it is, and seeing the other side to it. And I think that's what life is about, that connection, that relatability. And again, knowing that you're not the only one going through it, I really like that. And so some of the guests that I have coming up, some of it is about food and chronic illness and diet and exercise. Some of it is different ways to cope with trauma and sensory overload and things like that. Because when we talk about wellness, it's not just the physical part, it's our mental wellness as well. And that's really important to me. And I've had a lot of different guests that have also showcased that. So I hope you guys stick with the mess, stick with me. It's going to be a great many episodes to come that I have planned. And I really just truly want to let these people that have gone through their mess have a way to share their story. And I hope that it inspires you, that you're listening, that you can do something about it too. May not feel like that today, may not feel like that tomorrow, but you will get through your messy journey. And I want to be there next to you as you do it. I really do. So that's what I have for the guest wrap up, or however you want to say. I I have my exciting, messy, fun news. I'm so excited to say that I have just launched my brand new website, www.everythingsmessy.com. I don't think you'd expect anything less. I will be having links to if you want to register to become a guest, if you'd like to leave me a review, if you have questions or want to contact me, it will all be right in one happy little place. And I'm also going to start, hopefully you will join the Messy Club, and we're going to start having hopefully a community of messy people. And we'll be able to, I'll be able to send emails out and get you information that I've been searching on and looking about just in a different way than what I may be able to talk about on the podcast and things like that. So I'm so excited. It's been a long time coming. It's taken me a long time. I'm not so smart in the technical part of things, but I'm learning. And that part is messy as well. But I'm so excited. So please go check it out. I'm very excited. And let me know. Send me an email. Tell me what you think. I want to hear your feedback. Maybe it's feedback on a certain episode. Maybe you have questions about the guests that I had. Maybe you have questions about a topic that we're getting into. Let me know. I want to hear from you. And again, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, there's a tab that you can go to. It says register to become a guest. Go fill that out. It'll take you through the steps. The more I can get messy people showcased, the better. So check it out. Let me know. Let me know what you think of the website. I am good with constructive criticism. I won't take it personal as long as it is constructive. Do you like the way it's set up? Do you like the tabs? Do you have, I'm open. If you want to send me suggestions about it, by all means. Doesn't mean that I'll do it, but I'd love to hear them. So go check it out, please. I'm very, very excited. And this has, again, been a long time coming. And it goes hand in hand with the podcast that I'm trying to create, the community that I'm trying to build. And I hope that it resonates with all of you, how powerful I think a mess can be and what we can do with it. And who can we help along the way with it? I've said before how passionate I am about wanting to help all people, no matter what their background, no matter where they're coming from. I want to, if there's a way I can offer you help, I want to be able to do that. And even if that's just talking about, the supplements I'm trying, the exercise that I'm doing, which, by the way, quick little pivot here. I am happy to report that I am now lifting weights 4 times a week. I was at 3, now I'm at 4. I have done a couple of personal bests, and my weight keeps getting better and better. And I'm loving lifting weights. And I would love to hear from any woman or even man who's recently found lifting weights. And what are you thinking about it? Because I feel like it's kind of addicting. I want to go back and I need more gains, and I need to beat this personal best, and I need to do this again. And it's just been really fun for me. And I can't say that I've got the nutrition part down yet. I was having a conversation with my husband today, and I came home after being at the gym for what seemed like a really long time, and I did cardio after I lifted weights, and I was really, really tired. And I always have to go back in my head, okay, is that my thyroid? Is that Hashimoto's? Is that being a type 1 diabetic? Did I not eat? Like what? I got to go down the checklist, right? But he brought up a really good point. I'm very good about having at least a protein shake before I go work out, knowing that I'm going to need something. It's really funny with me. I cannot eat in the morning and go work out, or I will probably be puking all over you, and nobody wants that. So I have to be very careful with what I put in my stomach, even though I know you're not supposed to skip breakfast, which is the protein shake. So I'm not skipping. It needs to be very small. But then when I come home, and, you're supposed to be eating every 2 hours, or if it's, less meals, more time expanded than every 3 or 4 hours. But that time goes by in the gym, and then I find, oh, I need to go run a few errands, and then I need to go do this, and then I need to go do that. And I come home, and now it's time to get school started. And it's all these things. And it's, by the time it's 3 o'clock, I'm not only exhausted, I haven't eaten. And so my timing and my nutrition, I am still working on. This is why they really get into the meal prep. And I'm not against the meal prep, but I may not feel like chicken on Tuesday if I prepared it on Saturday. I'm very, very picky like that. And I know I can't be the only one like that. So it's hard for me to be planning and prepare for that, but I know I need to be. And so my husband suggested to me today that I should have a protein shake before I go to the gym, and then have one after, and then make sure I come home and I eat a meal. And that's really good advice. And I know he means well. I'm going to try and do it. But sometimes, like I said, you just get caught up. You've got things to do. The day has to get started. And also remember too, a lot of times, and not every day, but a lot of times I'm still struggling with that mom guilt because I'm taking so much time to do this fitness journey. And so I feel like, okay, I spent a lot of time at the gym. Now I need to make sure I go do the things I need to do for the kids. And so it's that back and forth, give and take. Then I argue with myself, and I never win. um, round and round we go. So I really am trying to focus on minute by minute, hour by hour. How can I improve? How can I do? And I will tell you, I feel like the weight loss is still stubborn in that area, but I know why it is. I'm absolutely calling myself out on it, and I know why. It's just really hard to get that kind of method down that I need to do. So, like I said, I'm still very much the in between, not the before, not the after. And it's a process, and it's, learning, and it's a curve, and it's all these things. Some people seem to be very regimented, and that's great. I like to control things, but I wouldn't necessarily call myself regimented. I used to be, but I also used to be very rigid in that area. And I'm trying to find balance. That's that word. I think we talked about it with Neil. Balance can be good, or balance can be an excuse. And I don't want to use that as an excuse either. So and like I said, I'm still going through all the feels. Obviously, as you can tell, I'd love to hear about your own fitness journey and what you're doing, any tips and tricks and things that you're sharing, because I don't have all the answers. I really don't. I will tell you one of the supplements I have been taking, I think I've mentioned it before, the Ancestral Supplement, beef thyroid, complete bovine thyroid that I've been taking. And I have reduced the amount of Armour thyroid that I'm taking, which is great. I'm not completely off of it, but I have noticed that I don't need as much medicine. And on days that I'm not spending 2 hours at the gym and I'm just doing my cardio, I have a little bit of pep. Now, is it because of the thyroid, or is it because I'm not burning all of my energy at the gym that morning? I don't know. Again, I need to get better with the nutrition. But if you're looking for a way to supplement your thyroid, I absolutely recommend that product. On top of, I've talked about castor oil before. I have gotten my oldest into it for digestive issues. Keep checking back in with you as we take it. I've told you that the floaters went away in my eyes when I put the castor oil on my eyelids. I still think that's amazing. It's also a new thing that I read, and you guys might know about it, but it's just new to me. It is supposed to reduce fine lines and wrinkles. So now it's like I'm bathing in this stuff. Put it all over. We're not going to lose any. We're going to miss any part. So, just checking up on that. I did actually switch, and I don't know, maybe you guys don't have a problem with this, but I was on a protein shake with whey protein. And I will tell you, I was discouraged because I would drink the protein shake and my blood sugar would go up to like 250, 290. And I'm like, wait, hang on a minute. How is it spiking so much? Because, and you can fact check me on this, whey actually can spike sugar. And I had no idea. So I have since switched the protein source to bone broth protein. And that does not make my sugar spike. So any diabetics out there who are using whey protein, check your numbers. Make sure you're not spiking so high because, again, it should be protein. You should not be having such a high curve in your blood sugar. If you're using whey, that could be the reason. So just sharing you the information that I've come across, and I really hope it helps somebody. And again, short episode. Go check out my website. Let me know what you think. Very excited for this. And I'm so excited to have the opportunity to talk to all of you messy people. Let me know. Send me an email. I'm still on Instagram, still on Twitter or X. I'm also on YouTube, and I've been posting my videos on YouTube. So, check it out. Please leave me a review if you would like to. At least like it if you do. And if you don't, send me an email why you don't like it. Because I want to hear what you guys have to say. And I'm so appreciative. I'm so appreciative of all the listeners we have all around the globe. I seem to pick up a new country every other week, so I'm very excited about that. And just keep listening, keep it messy. I'm so excited to be on this podcast. And until next time, take care. Thank you so much for listening to Everything's Messy podcast. If you don't mind, if you'd head on over to wherever you listen to your podcast at and subscribe, maybe leave me a review. I would totally appreciate that. If you'd like to be considered to be a guest on our podcast, please reach out to me at everythingsmessy@gmail.com. You can also find me on social media at Everything's Messy Podcast on Instagram. I'm also on X, which was Twitter, at Everything's Mess, and Facebook at Everything's Messy Podcast. Once again, I'd love to hear from you in any capacity and anything that you'd like to share with me. Thanks again for listening.